in our midst, the MD CEO, TCN, and the management staff, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome you, please. TCN, TSP, you're welcome, sir. We are sorry to come a bit late. The MD had been to Abeokuta this morning, so you can see that he's a working MD. We'd like to quickly have the opening prayer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin.
Thank you for the life you gave to us in the name of Jesus. Amen. For in Jesus' perfect name we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you very much. Before we go any further, I would like us to quickly introduce the GM and the AGMs in the house. So for the avoidance of doubt, since we have one person in the house who says he doesn't know the GM, GM please sir, can you just stand a little? Okay, you can sit down sir. Thank you very much. That's our GMT, Engineer B. Dokara. We also have all the AGMs in the house. I think I should start the introduction from the AGMISO because Engineer Smart Omarogon, yes. So AGMISO, let the AGMCS, Engineer Charles Iwamadi. So let me now introduce the outside the Lagos regional office AGM. Engineer Lamina Adebola, please. Governor of Ogun State. Represented here this afternoon by Engineer David, please. The governor of Akwa region, Engineer Alhaji Majid Akintola, governor of Ikeja West Sub-region. And the last but not the least governor, because we are praying for expansion, is Engineer Benga Jiboye, the AGMC again, Sub-region. Thank you very much. We have a whole array of PMs in our midst this morning, so I have to start mentioning them one after the other. I bet you will not leave the house today. All the PMs in the house, please rise for recognition. Thank you very much. You're welcome. I also want to say welcome to every other person seated over there. You are all very important persons. Please clap for yourselves. Thank you very much for coming. Aside from us that are core staff of TCN, we have some very important persons in our midst also who are our partners in this business. We have the General AGS Louis, in the person of Comrade Tony Agaike. Please come over here.
And according to our present minister, he says, "A go never jail." He don't budget. Don't budget. That's right. He has no spoiled. Am I right? Thank you very much. And this is a seat of excellence. And because it is called a seat of excellence, we are working towards making sure that, as far as power is concerned, this is the seat of excellence. I want to also welcome my colleagues, especially my frontline generals, who are the governors. If I'm the president, they are the governors. Without the governor, the president will sit. Thank you very much. You're welcome. next level of generals are very, very important, and you're welcome. Thank you very much. I also want to appreciate every one of you. I never believed that we can pull this crowd within hours. Finally, your people are excited to welcome you to the Lord's. They have seen a lot of your courageous moves, a lot of your bold moves, and they have great hopes that this organization can safely again. I want to really assure you that I have a strong workforce, though not enough. But in the midst of all that, they still do their best to make Lagos Region the best. We are proud to say that, and we are happy that God has supported us in doing that. Honestly, all these stories about TCN in the university is a lie. We have a line capacity in Lagos of about 2,800 megawatts line capacity. We have transformer capacity in the neighborhood of 2,688 megawatts. Meaning that our lines can supply all our transformers. That's the meaning. In the past 2 years, our power consumption in Lagos region has been the maximum of 1,200 megawatts. So to say, it's still very, very far from our capacity. We also we have a staff strength of 307 in TSP and 221 in ISO. And this population we are talking about is grossly inadequate. Since you came on board, we have installed 2 number 6 kVA transformers in Lagos region. We have also 2 ongoing installations of inhibitors in medicine, and all jobs involved are done by this sense. We have rehabilitated 4 number transformers. A number of them were installed as far back as 1968. So many of you have not been born. The 4 number transformers we have rehabilitated have given us a value of about 270 MVA transformers we have brought back to life. And since we sealed them and rehabilitated them, we have not added any oil to any of them. We have replaced 6 number 330 132 kVA circuit breakers. We replaced some of them that are obsolete, some of them that are bad, some of them that we are bypassed. We've done that within this short period. We have also repaired a number of breakers that we are affecting our operations. Some of them we are causing system collapse in the past. We have repaired 3. And since then, we have not had any issue from them. I want to appreciate all my engineers that have been involved in all those jobs. So it's not as if we do not have challenges. We have challenges and we've been managing with them. We don't have any motor crane, which we normally call hire. We don't have any in the entire region yet. We account for more than 30% of the entire road in the system. A lot of my AGFs do not have status vehicles. If not all of them, they don't have status vehicles. They manage the work vehicles that my linesmen or some other maintenance men use The same one they used to field, to go and do their job, some of them are being managed with by the AGM. And for the fact that we account for 30% of, so sir, give us more than 30% of what you have. We have done some little rehabilitation here within our small limits. We are still doing. My MD, if you increase the interest of the regions and the sub-regions, the situation will be better and we will trouble your lives. Our control rooms, of course you have observed that, and I'm sure I know the efforts you will be making to rehabilitate the number of the control rooms. I'm aware, but then it will be good that we still say it into your ears again, sir. We do not have enough human beings to run this system, and that has resulted in overstretching of so many of the workers. We have set time without number and then sent messages to you. I don't know whether they have reached you, those messages are reaching or not, that give us a little free hand to bring in linesmen. Let linesmen not be employed at headquarters, so that the people that we want, people that we will employ here, and they will be ready to remain here and work here, especially people we know their capacities. Some of them have been here as contract staff in one way or the other for so many years. We've known them. Some of them are outside. We go and borrow them whenever we want to do any job. But if we can bring in those good ones, this place will be a better place. Security men also, technical men, and above all, training. We need continuous training, especially for the technical staff. Especially, that does not mean that accounts and other support departments, they don't need it. But these technical people, if they are not trained, it's either they kill themselves or they kill others, or maybe they destroy the system. But if we train them regularly, they will be better human beings, and the system will be better. I have this region and other regions. So if I say all the things that I've been told to say, some people are sending text messages to my message. Let me not continue. I will stop there. You're welcome, sir. We are happy to see you.
We would like to have the MD respond to the address by the GMT Lagos region.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank you very much for taking your time to come out, despite the fact that you are supposed to be with your families in the weekend. The one thing that I want to tell you is that TCN is not the weakening link in the power sector as it's being believed. It's not. It's not the weakening link. And it was actually not the weakening link. It was not the weakest link. The problem is that we had a bad communication. We have not been communicating very well. And let me tell you, if you look at what happened at the last power sector meeting in Abuja, it was very, very clear. The permanent secretary challenged all the stakeholders that TCN is not the weak link. In fact, TCN is ahead of you, generation and distribution. And he challenged them to say otherwise. And none of them could challenge us. But then, even with that position, are we satisfied with where we are? No, we are not. Because transmission standard is that you are supposed to put what they call N-1 at every interface. On the hard side is the issue of investment. We look at our sources of revenue. Where are our sources of revenue? We have IGR, which is from what we are getting from the market. What we are getting from the market is an average of about 30% of our revenue. We look at the possibility of whether we can also enter into PPP with some private sector. That one also is not going to be possible now, especially at large capacity. It's not going to be possible because for every PPP that you enter, you have to have enough revenue to finance it. The easiest way I can raise money is through multilateral, from multilateral donors. So And I also want to tell you that my coming is a collaboration of Ministry of Finance, the Presidency, and the Ministry of Power. When I spoke with the donors, they said TCN capacity to implement project is not more than $100 million per annum. In fact, there's a report from the World Bank that indicated that TCN capacity to implement project is about $100 million of a project per annum. If that is the case, it means that TCN cannot expand its capacity. The second problem that has come out, which is very clear, is this issue of over-centralization. Everything is centralized around Abuja. In fact, for the FGN project, you will see one engineer that is supervising a project in Lagos, he's supervising another project in Sokoto, he's supervising one in Maiduguri, one is the same person supervising project in Kwara. So this is the ills of over-centralization that I'm saying. So this is a problem that we have to solve. Another problem that is affecting our capacity to implement projects is this issue of procurement. It interests you to know that in TCN, I will just give one example. There's a contractor that was given a contract to install 2x60 MVA in a town they call Oba, very close to Newi. That contractor abandoned that project after collecting 81% offshore and 54% downshore. The same contractor was given another contract in Walalandi, in Kano. That contractor collected about 90% of offshore and about 60%, and that contract is abandoned. Same contractor was given contract to install 1x60 MVA in Aba and 1x60 MVA again in Port Harcourt. The same contractor failed to perform under World Bank, and the contract was cancelled on December 6th. It was the contractor that I battled to collect the advance payment and performance bond. So this is the nature of our TCN. Law of contract, we have also done commercial law. If you look at commercial law, in a contract like that, they are severally and individually liable, isn't it? So if the contract fails, if you go to court, they are supposed to be severally and individually liable, including the lion that is not here. But the question is, before you prove that, you have to go to court. And you know our court process. How many of these cases are you going to prove it? How many of them? You cannot prove it. So to solve that problem, that is the reason why we redefine qualification criteria now. We said if there's a tender and the qualification criteria require, the qualification require a turnover of $100 million and a cash flow of $100 million. Just an example. And the experience of 10 related work experience, meaning the person has done this kind of work 10 times. We are saying that is that each either the rat and the lion have to be defined. Do so many other things. One of them is this issue of frequent, what do we call it? One of them is the issue of spinning reserve. If you check the broadcast that they do today, you see either the spinning reserve is 0 or is 40. With a generation of 400 megawatt or 4,000 megawatts, we are supposed to have 10% spinning reserve, meaning we are supposed to have 400 megawatt of spinning reserve. But we have only either 10, 40 or 0. We have had several meetings on this, and finally we resolved that the generators came out clearly to tell us that they will not give us the spinning reserve unless we give them good incentive, that the tariff for spinning reserve is not good. I quickly set up a committee headed by Engineer Lawal ISO, and they headed by Lawal with representative of the generation companies that are providing the spinning reserve, that we have agreement with them on the spinning reserve. And they came up with what they think is a reasonable tariff. We forwarded it to NAC. It's one of the tariffs that they are considering under the minor review now. The next thing that we need to do to stabilize the grid is that, and it's very clear, When I came newly, because I came with the mindset of former PACN, because even as at PACN when it was public company, when there's a system collapse, everybody feel it that there's something wrong somewhere. I came now, the first thing I had, the system collapse. So I asked, who caused this system collapse when I called the NCC? They said it's a big Kaenji, Jabba, caused the system collapse. So I called the MD of Jabba. I said, your station has caused system collapse. Can you explain? He said, now I'm in Kaenji. I'm in Jabba. There's nothing wrong with my system. So I called the acting GM of NCC. And I asked him, I said, this is what this man says. So what I said, he said, no sir, I'm telling you, I swear, the problem was caused by Jabba. I said, okay, I have control over you, I don't have control over the people in Jabba. Can you take all your engineers that you think they have the capacity, carry all the equipment that you have, go to Jabba and establish who is at fault? So he carried his people, he went to Jabba. I expect him to call me back. He never called me back. What happened next? The man, the MD of Jabba now was the one that called me. He called me and said, my brother, your people has come and there's no fault of ours. They couldn't prove that we are the one that caused it. So I called my GM, acting GM. How you are finished this and you have not come back to me? He said, yes sir, we have checked, it's not their fault. I said, whose fault? They couldn't establish. So that becomes very necessary. We have to have functional SCADA, whether we like it or not. Isn't it? So I also set up a committee on SCADA. It's not because I like committees, no. But if you have been wearing clothes and you don't know how to wear it very well, I think you have to ask people to tell you how can you wear clothes. We attempted SCADA sometime several years ago, it failed. The second attempt I was involved because it was done under World Bank project, which I was there. And it was a fail. And to the best of my knowledge, I know I did so many things. In fact, it was the reason why Asuzu had to leave here. It was that SCADA. Because at that time, when we recruited Siemens to be the contractor, we had to recruit a consultant that would supervise the contractor. And the engineers said that the last attempt at SCADA was done by Siemens. And one of the problems they have been having with Siemens was that they used to work at night. Sometimes they talk in German, they don't hear what they are talking. So at that time we had to hire a consultant to supervise the German. You have Fischner, you have Lamaya, all those important companies where Germany are there. So I was one of the people who was supposed to evaluate the consultant. We are 6. So when they gave me this information, I always go for offensive. So I said, if that is the case, then we have to make sure that we don't recruit a consultant from Germany. Since if they will come and talk in German language, then that means we have to kick them out. So our colleague didn't know how to do it. I said, look, this is consultants, and let's score those that can speak English better. So that was what we did. So, but even with all those things that we did, it failed. We didn't get the best of it. Currently, the SCADA can see only 40% of our network. And even the 40% is seeing it with their several deficiencies that is making it not to be seen. So when we set up the committee, we asked them, tell us why on 2 attempts we tried to do SCADA and it failed. That's what we told them. They came up with a report that indicated the reason why the SCADA has failed. Now let me tell you what we are doing. In preparing the project that we are doing now, this $1.5 billion that we are preparing, we are addressing all the deficiencies that made the SCADA not to succeed. Let me tell you, all the substations that we are installing as transformer in Lagos here, I think about 90% of the substations in Lagos we are touching them. Of SCADA is on right now. Is on. We have launched the process. Since May 22nd, even without spinning reserve, we had only one system collapse. And even that system collapse that we had, it was a mistake of some staff in mistake or it's a deliberate action. Because they knew that, because there's a system planning study that indicated you cannot put up to 400 megawatts on the line between Benin and Omotosho. And they decided to put that megawatt on that line. That's how the system collapsed. Now, on the other side, even on the economy side, I know also that if you want to retain the best and attract the best, you have to pay. Where I was working in African Development Bank is an organization where you can have a GM, like Opera, who is a GM, and you can have a PM that is earning higher than you, depending on her performance. Our salary was not based on increment that you do, it's tied to the market. So if there's an inflation, our salary is automatically adjusted. I'm telling the truth. So, but how do we improve our salary? There are two things we need to do. We have to increase the revenue, or we have to reduce our cost. And that is why we are working very hard to reduce our cost. For information, we are taking a decision that every work that our staff can do, we will not give it to contractor. And Opera can confirm. And Opera can confirm that we have given him to install how many transformers now?
We are installing 4.
Let me tell you, these 4 transformers that is installed, they are installing. If we have given to contractors, what we are giving him is less than 10% of what we will have given a contractor to be installed. So 1 month ago, we cancelled the contract. And we asked Bauchi Region, can you give us estimate of how, if we give you, you can install? Bauchi Region give us 16 million naira to install the whole transformer, to do all the job. That 10% of it is 22 million. So this is how it is. I can give you time. Dambua, the contract that they earmarked to give a contractor was 22 million, 228 million. When we asked Bauchi to install, Bauchi installed it at the rate of 18 million. But the danger is that some of our staff are getting more income from the contractor than what they're getting from TCN. So it's a big problem, and those people are working to frustrate us all over the place. That's the reality. TCN, TSP working against ISO, market operator working against ISO. So we made sure that before we go there, we did our homework. Not only that, we went there as a team. And for information, when we went there, we forced NAC to agree that they are going to do extraordinary tariff review for TCN for the first time. That is how we continue. And we have also taken a decision that every month we would send money to install all the transformers that are on the ground. Right now, about 11 transformers have been installed simultaneously all over the country by our TCN staff. We have also earmarked money for installation of another 5, which will start from next month. So this is, we continue to do that. We also take a decision that all contracts, there are some contractors that are in TCN, that their job is 98%, but they refuse to complete it. You know why they are not completing it? You know why they are not completing it? Because TCN is their farm. They want to be charging variation every year. They will be collecting variation. Since they don't have another contract, they want to be charging variation on those contracts. We took a decision now that all those contractors, we are going to move in to complete the job for them. It's not that we are going to stop paying them. We will pay them their money, but we stop the variation. This is the way we are going. There are so many things I can say. The issue of operators. The issue of operators that Engineer Opara mentioned is really serious. But the question is that we have made a point that we have to install SCADA. So if we install SCADA, even the current operators that we have, they are too much. That is why, as management, we take a decision that, look, since we have launched the procurement of SCADA, and we believe this time around, we have to get it right. So we took a decision that, look, let's be recruiting those that retire, let them continue. So right now, we are reviewing, even our staff, we have shortage of staff, whether you like it or not. Particularly non-technical, technical staff. We have significant shortage of technical staff. But for us to prove that, we have to have review to show clearly. Now, the issue of vehicles, we try to buy a significant number of vehicles for us to distribute to the regional office. I can tell you that when I went to Maiduguri, the motor they came to pick me at the airport, which is the only motor there, I couldn't enter it. But look at even the problem of that place. When they go to Clearfield on the road and their motor spoiled, they have to run to the bush because of insecurity. So these people should have a car that is functional and good, not a car that can break down easily. So we try to buy several cars. Unfortunately for us, you know, I came at the end of the financial year. We pushed for this. We were able to meet the deadline. But when we sent it to Federal Executive Council, it was stepped down because there's a thinking among some of the members of the FC, the Federal Executive Council, that we want to rush to buy cars because the year was coming to an end. And that's how it was stepped down. But that we have not stopped. We will still continue to work to see that we get, particularly heavy duty vehicles. We are not talking about this type of motor that Opara is using. We are talking about Hiluxes, we are talking about crane, we are talking about Land Rovers that can go to the bush and clear flat. We will buy them. But we have also discovered that several staff are keeping cars more than what they require. It will interest you to know that in your organization, there's one person that is keeping up to 7 cars or 8 cars in me. Some of them are pickups and several of them. What Opara was saying that we have recovered up to 50 now. But we still have more that we are pushing them to recover them. And when we concluded, Engineer Opara, every pickup, every kilo that have been recovered will go to the field, will not stay in Abuja. And we have recovered many of them. I think let me stop here because I know there are a lot of questions. So let me hear from you. Our NEWI and Senior Staff Association are here also. I believe they will want to ask questions. Thank you very much.
Let's give it up for the MD for his address to us. He has touched every aspect. Thank you very much, sir. Like the MD just said, the 2 in-house unions are present, represented by the AGS and the VP for the SAEC. So they have short addresses for the MDCU and every one of us. We'd like to welcome Comrade Agaike.
Do I have immunity to talk? MD, they say I should talk. Give us some time. Don't worry, start timing me. Well, so much has been said as to what has been done within the short time you have occupied office. And I am happy to say that with what I have seen and heard, that zeal to work has not diminished. So keep it up, sir. Everything you see written here is not all about demands. I call it out of it. We are glad to have you in our midst. And my only appeal is that we will take time to reel out some things. Let it not just remain on paper. We want to see the actualization or implementation of these things. When we talk labor, labor is not all about give us this, give us that. We are equally interested in the welfare of the system. And what that means is that whatever it takes for TCN to get their own share of the money from the market operator, labor is equally interested. Because if the portion of our own money does not come to us, there won't be money to pay salaries. So if we come here to only say, give us, and we don't look at the system, then it's an aberration. MD, you have taken time to say so much. But I want to equally say that an average worker seated here this afternoon
if you ask him or her to say anything concerning the things you say, the $100 million may not be remembered, the $5 billion may not be remembered, but if MD has said that the committee set up to negotiate increment in salaries and allowances have finished work and implemented, ask a common staff here today, they will remember that one. MD, I'm going somewhere. So much has been said about vehicles. So much has been said about interest. But from the labor end, we want to reiterate, it does not only affect management, it impacts negatively even on the workforce. We have done lots of analysis here. When fuel pump price was 22 naira, the same interest. Today we are buying at over 190 something. It is the same interest. How do you expect us to function? Recently, I attended an area joint consultative meeting somewhere, and a station as big as that with about 4 substations, sir, had only one work vehicle that was not even reliable. I listened to the plans you have. The only thing I could not get out from those things, MD, sir, there is need to categorize all these plans: short term, medium term, long term. Of everything that has been said, the ones that should come under short term, sir, I think we should be looking at increasing this interest. That one should come under very short term, so that the system on its own does not collapse as a result of lack of funding to run it. Everything I have listened to here today touched every facet. But if I'm to categorize them under percentage, I will say the technical aspect took about 90% of the discussion, and the one that borders on human resource is begging for 10%. So I will, craving your indulgence, quickly mention those areas, sir. We are having issues when it comes to medical, and for us it is a very big issue begging for attention. We are equally aware, sir, that while the TSA policy was being implemented, workers' salaries were being deducted in form of pension. I can tell you, sir, that for some of the months deducted up till now, there has not been any remittance of those pension funds deducted from workers' salary. Sir, I know you touched the issue of review of salaries and allowances. And I know one of the things you said was that 1 or 2 errors were noticed, it was brought back, but it has been corrected and taken back to the minister. Maybe for the purpose of information, I know that we ought to have implemented some of those allowances around May, and it was shifted to June. We only want to appeal to you, sir, to do a serious follow-up, a speedy follow-up, so that within the shortest time possible, we will enjoy these allowances. And when the books and the history is being read, we will say under the tenure of Mohammed Gore, we enjoyed these allowances. We equally share in your vision to decentralize to the field. And it is in this regard, we want to draw your attention, sir, to the issue where we centralize the purchase of safety wares, tools, and other things at the headquarters. Where these things are needed the most is the field. And because of that centralization, probably headquarters will want to wait for every nook and cranny of the nation to turn in their reports before they make these purchases, and it will go through another bureaucracy to send them to the field. Meanwhile, workers are expected to work on hourly basis, on minute basis, on seconds basis, how do we expect them to work when we are not thinking safety first? There is need for us to address one or two things when it comes to the issue of audit. It is impeding jobs on the field. There is need to address them. It is because of that same bureaucracy that we are having a lot of equipment belonging to TCN tied down at the ports today. If what should be done had been done and at the right time, by today we will not be looking at demorages or those equipments meant to augment the lines lying down there. So, sir, with these few points of ours, we hope we have been able to convince you and not confuse you that there is need to look into these areas and take positive steps to addressing them. Thank you very much.
Incidentally, what you talk about is what we discussed with Engineer Opara last night. To be honest with you, we have not improved Impress, but we have increased the funding to the regional offices. Opara can confirm that we have increased it. Have we?
Yes, you're right, sir.
We have increased it. It's either we increase your Impress or we send you money that you are supposed to do some of those maintenance without sending people from headquarters to come and help you. You are doing it by yourself or sending contractor. So we are also empowering. And on the issue of auditor that AGS mentioned, is actually a big problem because we send money to the regional office and the regional office cannot spend the money because they say the approval limit is small. So I called the audit office last time, AGS, I hope you are listening to me. I called them for a meeting. I said, okay, are we going to give you, what do you want? Do you want us to be giving money to contractors so that contractors will be charging us what is 10 naira, they'll charge us 100 naira? Or do you want us to send to our staff to install those things at a cheaper rate that we are getting? Because I showed them the result of what we have achieved. What contractors are collecting and what we are doing now. And they say it's better for us to give our staff. So I say, okay, go and issue go and write a circular for me so that we tell your staff that are in the regional office, I mean the auditors in the regional office. I'm referring to the two general managers of audit in TSP and in ISO. So they went and wrote a general circular. And the circular created more problem than solution. Why did I say that? They said that they should not be dividing contract, they should not be doing this inside the same circular. So I said this one that I say is not a solution to the problem because this one will even create more problem than solution. So I told them then go and bring solution. So they couldn't bring solution. So the decision that we took, which I'm sure in the next week you will see the circular. We took a decision that we are increasing the approval limit of the regional general managers to be at the same level with the executive directors. That's what the decision we took. And I asked whether I have the power to do that. And I was told I have the power to do that. So that's what we are doing to solve that problem. It may not solve the problem, but it will reduce it. That is the intention. Madam mentioned about CTs and VTs. This is what happened between me, discussion I had between me and the MD of Mainstream. If there's anybody who attended the power sector meeting that took place in Abuja, he will confirm this in the happen. We have this, I think it's a breaker between Kaenji and Jebba that has been out for several times because it's not fixed. So the MD of Mainstream came and met me, and I showed him my plan on how to fix it with funding. So he was so happy, but he said he wanted it quickly. I said you cannot have it quicker than the way I put it. There's other options, but the other option also have a problem. Because if I've included something in a requirement that is supply and installation, and I remove it, it becomes more costly to me because I'm going to pay. If somebody is cutting for supply and installation, and you tell it, don't install the equipment, give me the equipment, you are losing. So tell me which one do you want? So we agree with him. When he came to the power sector meeting, he said there's a problem. He has a problem. I said, what is it? Minister asked him, what is the problem? He said the breaker between Kaenji and Jeba is not working. And so Minister asked him, I said to him, next time MD don't come to my office. He said, why? I said, look, this problem has been there for 5 years. Nobody has fixed it. I've come in less than 6 months. I've given you a solution on how I'm going to fix it with timeline. And you came here and you're mentioning it. And you are saying that there's no solution. So next time, if you come to my office, I will not listen to you. So everybody laughed. That was what happened. Now, what I want to tell you is that we have several of those equipments that are not existing. What did I do when I came in? I ordered emergency procurement of CTs, VTs, and reactors. Have you? Under the World Bank project. Those has been evaluated and the contracts have been signed now for them to supply VTs and CTs. There are many, which we are going to send to the regional offices for them to install as we are doing now. We are not buying them and supply and installation. We are buying the equipment so that we distribute it for them to install them. Because there are so many interface issues, even along Egbin and several other places. So this is what we want to do. So once this equipment arrives, we are going to send it to the regional offices to fix them. Now going forward, what are we doing also to avoid this kind of thing? We have under one of the projects, which is the World Bank project, we are buying 10 150 MVA which are spares. We are buying 20 60 MVAs who are spares. We are buying 100 MVAs which we are bringing them to the system. So that even those ones that we have, if they fail, we can just pick and put. That's not the only. We are also buying spare parts, like CTs, VTs, and all. We are buying them. That's how we want to do. And that's why we are working to strengthen our stores in such a way that we will not have our equipment being missing anyhow. That's why we want to strengthen the stores. So we are not forgetting the fact that we need to fix those problems. But the question is that we have to also understand that our funding has not changed. We are working to change them. But it's not the funding. The only thing that has changed, which I also want to tell you, that has changed is that we have reduced our wastages. As we speak with you now, I will tell you without fear that TCN account is far, far better than when we took over. That is the reality. It's not like how it used to be before. I can confirm to you that we have up to $16 million in the account of TSP. That's the reality. So we are not that bankrupt organization. But the question is that, yes, if we are going to sustain this, we have to also control the culture of probity, stopping these people that make us like a farm. They know our office more than even we know it. They come to our office before us. We have to cap those people. If we don't cap them, we will go back to square one. That's the reality. On the issue of SCADA, the issue of SCADA, I think you said they removed it. Are you referring to Ikeja West? Or which place did they do that? Are they doing that job?
There are 2 stations.
Yes.
Akamba and Ikeja West.
Yes, Akamba and Ikeja West. Okay, Engineer Ofa, this is your problem now. So the PCNA people that are removing those, they should not remove them.
Contractor has to create a new panel.
Okay, is it both of them are MBH? Both of them are MBH. Okay, Engineer Opara, write to me, I will give it to MBH. We will tie their payments to this. We will not pay them their last money until we confirm this problem. That's all. Okay, on the issue of tripping of Oshobo on this glass insulator, please can you write detail of these things and bring it? Because what I want to do is that I want to tie it with one of this job that we want to do, the stringing of the line. Yes, so because I want us to tie it. So what I want you to do, I want you to forward it to Chiroma or to Kwadabi. Just like we are tying the singing of Oshobo Aede to the OGW that goes to Ikeja West. We want to tie this one. We have enough money to pay so that we solve this problem. we solve this problem once and for all. On the issue of employing engineers and technologists, we have not started the employment. We are doing the assessment now. So we have no conclusion. But it if you employ engineers and there is nobody to help the engineers, I don't think you are doing the right thing. So we will take that into account. Thank you for the suggestion. Issue of scratch cards. We have considered that, but we are also considering it with our revenue. As at now, account has confirmed to me that we can pay the increase in allowance, but they have not confirmed this one. But it's one of the things that we are considering. We are not leaving you. But if it could become too serious, we can also stop the one of the headquarters so that everybody becomes the same. RHS will not penalize me for that. On the issue of Papalento, I promise I'm going to visit Papalento. And even the road, I think Ogun State is one of the states that we are collaborating very well. I didn't tell you that one of the things that we have also established is that we have established that there's one area that we are not very well doing very well. The issue of right of way and this compensation. We are not doing very well in that area because once TCN says want to pay for compensation, the cost becomes very high. It's expensive. And also as a culture of Nigeria, we are actually a different species as far as payment of compensation is concerned. I want to tell you something. You know, I am the chairman of the, by virtue of my position as the MD of TCN, I'm the chairman of the WAP Executive Board. As the chairman of the WAP Executive Board, I want to tell you something. We want to build a transmission line from Nigeria to Niger, Niger to Burkina Faso, Burkina Faso to Mali, and Mali to Senegal as the northern corridor of the West African Power Pool. You know, we have the southern corridor. We are actually planning to build another one, but this is the southern corridor. We want to build the northern corridor also, so that they will meet in Senegal, then we have a loop. So a study was done for the line from Niger to Nigeria and to Nigeria through Birnin Kebbi. I want to tell you that from Birnin Kebbi to the border and from the border to Niger, from Birnin Kebbi to the border is 60 kilometers. From our border of Nigeria to Yamai, the capital of Niger, is about 350 kilometers. If you look at the vegetation, going very close to Niger, the vegetation are different. That one, the vegetation is poorer. But close to the border of Nigeria, up to 100 kilometers, the vegetation is almost the same. It's almost the same from Birnin Kebbi to that side. But the payment of compensation for the 60 kilometers is far, far higher than the payment of 350 kilometers in Niger. So this is the cultural problem that we have. So for us to solve that problem, what the decision we have taken is to partner with states. Some of the states, we encourage them, some of them that are very willing, we encourage them to even take over the issue of the compensation and the issue of right of way. And one of those states that have taken that 100% from us was Kaduna State and Edo State. In fact, Edo State is doing payment of compensation for line that has nothing to do with the state, and the state government has agreed to do it. Kaduna State is doing the same thing. Ogun State, we have agreed to partner with the state. We are partnering with them. We are moving very well. When we have not completely concluded whether they will pay 100% or 50% of the compensation, we are partnering very well. Therefore, what I want to tell you is that if I come to Papalento, I'm going to come with the Commissioner of Works with Ogun State, and we'll see how the state should do the work, so that everybody, they solve their problem, we solve our own side. So I will come to Papalento. I'll come there, yes. There's something that none of you have raised when I came here, and I deliberately decided to keep quiet. Madam even mentioned it at the beginning of the meeting. Some of you didn't know, I've also worked in Jorao. Wow. But I also want to tell you that when I'm coming to this place, I don't have all the money to solve the problem. So I'm not telling you 100% this problem is solved. But this place is not a good place for office. That's the reality. It's not about the location, it's not about this building. You may manage this building, but to enter this place, I think this is a serious matter, because if this is the face of transmission in Lagos, and you have to patch all these fish sellers before you come here, I think there's a big problem. And that is what I expect many of you to say, because it's not, this is our face, then there's a problem. There's a problem.
The way they see us.
So I think that Lagos is the biggest region that we have. Lagos control about 30% of our transformation capacity. And we are also planning to expand Lagos region. What you don't know is that as part of our plan, we are building another 330 quad line from Benin to Lagos. It's going to be a new line. What we want to do is that we are going to expand the line from Benin TS to Benin North. And from Benin, so we want to expand it to Court, because there's no corridor to enter Benin North. There's no new corridor to enter because of the build-up area. So the existing line between Benin North and Benin TS, we want to rebuild it to Court line that will carry capacity of 2,400 megawatt.
This is very humbling. He has told us, and we keep saying leadership by example in this region. We quickly like to take the vote of thanks, and it will be done by Engineer Moragon, please.
Sir, and ladies and gentlemen, before I move a vote of 10, let me quickly say this, sir. Please, the benefit the TSA is getting in terms of funding. We have to pledge our loyalty and support, and we believe in your capacity to deliver, and we believe in your capacity to say the truth at any time, and we continue to pray for you that you will succeed. And not only that, and this is not personal, it's not for any reason. Our own expectation and hope is that you will stay more than 1 year. We believe so. We believe that the period will be extended so that you can